The United Kingdom stands at a crossroads, poised to implement significant changes to its immigration policies. These changes will fundamentally alter the way individuals from around the globe can visit, work, build their lives, or ultimately settle within the UK's borders. This represents a major shift in the nation's approach to immigration. The government's newly released white paper, officially titled Restoring Control over the Immigration System, lays out the framework for these sweeping reforms. It marks a dramatic shift, not just a minor adjustment or a tweak around the edges, but a complete overhaul of the existing system. The implications are far-reaching. The headline, "Change," and perhaps the most significant, is that the standard settlement period for most migrants is doubling, increasing from the current 5 years to a full 10 years. This change directly impacts skilled workers, professionals, and many others seeking to make the UK their permanent home. They must now wait a decade, enduring a longer period of temporary residency, before they become eligible to apply for indefinite leave to remain, a crucial step towards permanent settlement. The impact: it means more years of navigating the complex visa renewal process, significantly higher costs associated with extending visas and maintaining legal status, and a prolonged period of uncertainty that can weigh heavily on families and individuals planning their futures. The government readily admits that some individuals faced with these tougher and more restrictive rules will ultimately choose to leave the UK, seeking opportunities elsewhere. The initial phase of these significant changes is scheduled to begin on July 22, 2025, marking a crucial turning point for thousands of people who are already living and contributing to the UK's economy and society. The long-held dream of achieving settled status after 5 years of residence has now transformed into a much longer 10-year challenge, demanding greater commitment and resilience. And even after a decade, there's no absolute guarantee of achieving permanent residency at the end of that long road. For many, the promise of a secure and stable future in the UK, a future they had envisioned and worked towards, has now become a significantly longer and more uncertain journey, filled with potential obstacles and anxieties. The UK's immigration landscape is undeniably being redrawn, reshaped by these new policies, and the wide-ranging effects of these changes will be felt by individuals, families, and communities across the country for many years to come. Why such sweeping changes? The government says it's responding to public concern over record-high net migration, nearly 1 million in 2023. The new approach is about control fewer people, but with higher skills and earning potential. The aim is to reduce reliance on overseas labour, especially for lower-skilled jobs, and push businesses to train UK workers. Recent restrictions, like banning care workers from bringing dependents, have already slashed visa applications. The white paper extends this logic across the system, prioritising the brightest and best, and aiming for a high-skill, high-wage economy. The government frames these changes as essential for public services, social cohesion, and long-term national interest. The human cost is acknowledged, but the focus is on reshaping the UK's demographic and economic future. The new rules raise the bar for who can come to the UK. The minimum skill level for a work visa jumps from A-level to degree level, instantly disqualifying many trades and technical jobs. Around 180 job types are now off-limits for sponsorship. English language requirements are tougher, and for the first time, all adult dependents must pass a basic English test. The care worker visa route is closing to new overseas applicants, forcing providers to prove they've exhausted local recruitment first. These changes combine to create a much more restrictive system, shutting out many who previously qualified. The UK is signalling it wants only highly educated, high-earning professionals. For most others, the door is closing. The impact of these new immigration policies won't be felt uniformly across the board. Not everyone is affected equally. Some communities and sectors will experience more significant challenges than others. It's crucial to understand where the pressure points will be. For some groups, the changes will be particularly acute. They will feel the brunt. These are the individuals and industries that have historically relied on a more open immigration system. Skilled workers in non-degree roles, those who have built their expertise through practical experience and vocational training, plumbers, chefs, site managers, individuals who contribute significantly to essential services and infrastructure. may find their jobs no longer qualify under the new points-based system, potentially leading to job displacement and a shortage of qualified professionals in key sectors. Sectors like hospitality, which often depend on a diverse workforce, and construction, long reliant on international talent to fill critical labor gaps, face major recruitment headaches. The pool of available workers shrinks, and businesses struggle to find qualified candidates to meet their needs. Migrants already in the UK now face uncertainty. Their future in the country hangs in the balance as they navigate the complexities of the new regulations. Will the 10-year rule, which allows long-term residents to apply for permanent settlement, apply to them retroactively? This question looms large, creating anxiety and instability for those who have built their lives in the UK. Families are hit too. The new rules place additional burdens on those seeking to bring loved ones to the UK. Adult dependents must pass English tests, a requirement that can be difficult and expensive to meet, and children may spend their whole childhoods in limbo, uncertain about their long-term status and future prospects. The care sector is especially hard hit, already facing a staffing crisis, losing its main pipeline for overseas staff who have been essential in providing care for the elderly and vulnerable. Existing care workers face a longer, more expensive path to settlement, and some may leave, seeking opportunities in countries with more welcoming immigration policies. The result? More instability and uncertainty for those working in the sector and for those who rely on their care, for migrants, families, and the industries that depend on them. The consequences of these policies extend far beyond individual cases. The ripple effects will be felt across society, impacting the economy, public services, and the social fabric of the nation. Behind the headlines are real people facing tough choices and dashed hopes. A 10-year wait for settlement means putting life plans on hold, like buying a home or starting a family. The financial burden doubles, with years of extra visa fees and uncertainty. For many, the emotional toll is immense, a decade of temporary status, anxiety, and feeling like an outsider. Some will decide to leave despite years of contribution and integration. The government's own analysis predicts families will be split and communities will lose valued members. These are not just statistics, they're stories of nurses, engineers, and families whose futures are now uncertain. The human cost of these changes is real and profound. The care sector in the United Kingdom is currently facing a looming crisis, a situation that demands immediate attention and strategic solutions. This isn't just a minor setback. It's a systemic challenge that threatens the very foundation of how we care for our elderly and vulnerable populations. This crisis is significantly exacerbated as the main visa route for overseas workers, a vital source of labor for the sector, effectively closes down. The implications of this closure are far-reaching, impacting not only the care providers but also the individuals who rely on their services. For many years, care homes and agencies across the UK have long relied on international staff to maintain adequate staffing levels and provide quality care. These dedicated individuals have come from all corners of the globe, bringing with them a wealth of experience and a commitment to caring for others. They have been instrumental in filling chronic shortages within the care sector. Shortages that have persisted despite ongoing efforts to recruit and retain local workers. Without this international workforce, many care facilities would struggle to operate effectively, potentially compromising the well-being of residents. Now, providers are facing increased scrutiny and must prove they've exhausted all local recruitment avenues before even considering hiring from abroad. This requirement adds another layer of complexity to an already challenging situation. The process of hiring from abroad has become significantly more difficult, requiring extensive documentation and justification to demonstrate that no suitable local candidates are available. This has created a bureaucratic hurdle that many care providers simply can't clear due to limited resources and administrative capacity. The red tape involved can be overwhelming, diverting valuable time and energy away from providing direct care. The fundamental issue of low pay and tough working conditions continues to make it incredibly hard to attract and retain enough UK workers in the care sector. Many potential candidates are deterred by the demanding nature of the work and the relatively low compensation offered. These factors, combined with the new immigration rules, only add further pressure on already strained care facilities and their dedicated staff. The weight of responsibility is immense and the challenges are mounting. Furthermore, existing overseas care workers are now facing a daunting 10-year wait for settlement, creating uncertainty and instability in their lives. This extended waiting period can be emotionally taxing and financially burdensome. They also face more fees associated with visa extensions and renewals, adding to their financial stress, and experience less overall security regarding their long-term future in the UK. This uncertainty can lead to anxiety and a sense of vulnerability. As a result, many of these invaluable care workers may choose to leave the UK, exacerbating the existing staff shortages and creating even greater challenges for the care sector. The loss of their skills and experience would be a significant blow. Ultimately, this situation puts vulnerable people at increased risk of not receiving the care and support they desperately need. The consequences of inadequate care can be devastating, impacting their health, well-being, and overall quality of life. The cumulative effect of these challenges could push the already strained NHS and social care system to breaking point, creating a crisis of unprecedented proportions. The system is already under immense pressure, and these additional burdens could prove to be unsustainable. While the government's long-term goal is to create a self-sufficient workforce within the care sector, this is a complex and ambitious undertaking. Achieving this goal will require significant investment in training, recruitment, and improved working conditions, and the transition will inevitably be painful and slow. It's a marathon, not a sprint, and requires a long-term commitment. In the meantime, both the dedicated care workers and the vulnerable individuals who depend on their care will continue to suffer the consequences of this unfolding crisis. The human cost of inaction is simply too high to ignore. For anyone planning to move, work, or join family in the UK, preparation is now critical. Check if your job still qualifies for a skilled worker visa. Many roles are now excluded. Plan for a 10-year journey to settlement with ongoing visa renewals and rising costs. Budget carefully. Fees, health surcharges, and legal advice add up over a decade. English language tests are tougher and now apply to all adult dependents. Start preparing early. Professional advice is more important than ever. Immigration lawyers can help you avoid costly mistakes. The new system is complex, but being informed and organized is your best chance of success. In this new era, knowledge and preparation are essential. Uncertainty hangs over those already in the UK. Will the 10-year rule apply to them retroactively? This lack of clarity makes planning difficult for thousands of families and employers. Migrants must now prepare for a decade of temporary status with the risk of further rule changes along the way. Employers face higher costs and more complex recruitment, making the UK less attractive for global talent. Staying informed and seeking reliable advice is crucial as the rules evolve. The future is uncertain, but proactive planning can help you adapt and maintain some control. In this shifting landscape, knowledge is power. Amid the legal jargon and policy shifts, it's vital to remember the human side of migration. People move for hope, opportunity, and a better life, not just to fill jobs. The new rules make the journey harder, but the dream of a new beginning endures. Migrants bring energy, skills, and diversity that enrich the UK. Even as barriers rise, people will keep striving to build a future here. The UK's success has always depended on those willing to make it their home. As the country enters this new chapter, it must not lose sight of the value migrants bring. In the end, it's the dreams and determination of newcomers that help build a better future for everyone.